All right, sprinters, let's increase the win rate. Today we talk how to get from ghosted to winning the deal. The win rate is something that we always are tweaking, improving, and trying to increase, right? A good win rate is around 50% of your conversations, and most teams right now are around 17% to 25%. And the problems are too, the win rate is low and the sales time is long. So this video helps you solve the win rate thing. How can we have the same amount of conversation but closing more of them, so more of them become your clients? First step is we have to map out where you are right now. We'll do that in a moment. Second step is identify the bottleneck, and then we're going to solve the bottleneck. Are you ready? Let's go in there. The steps of every sales funnel are: first, discovery calls scheduled per week. What's a discovery call? The number of conversations that people want to have with you. So this week, 5 people want to work with you, or let's say 15 people want to work with you, and they have clicked on a calendar link that you gave them, and they have now booked the time to discuss possible work with you. So that's a discovery call. Can be it's scheduled to be in person at their place, can be in person at your place, doesn't matter. It's a discovery call. It's the first time you come together to discuss possible work. So let's say this week you had 15 discovery calls. Now, the second thing to track in a simple, can be a piece of paper, can be a spreadsheet, how many of those discovery calls actually happened this week. So let's say 10. So you went from 15 discovery calls scheduled to 10 done. Why? Because you had 5 ghostings. 5 people didn't show up. And that happens with Zoom calls, and it happens with phone calls. It doesn't happen in person, of course. But let's say you had 15 scheduled and 10 happened. So if it's physical, it's more like 14 happen and 1 is delayed for some reason. 6 of them became a demo schedule. A demo is where you present your offer. Many of you call it a presentation or a pitch. We prefer to call it a demo because whenever you propose something, you have resistance on the other side. People don't like to be changed. People like their own change. They love their own change. They don't like change that comes from the outside, but they like to change stuff. They change stuff all the time. But they don't like when an outsider comes in and say, let's change this. So we call it a demo call because we walk together in a consultative fashion, and we walk together through all the problems. We look at them, we try and find solutions, and that's a demo. So it's not one person presenting and the other person is saying yes or no. That will be the worst situation. We will show you some jiu-jitsu moves that when they say, all right, now present me the solution, you will say, yeah, I'm glad to present, but then you will move on with questions, exploring, so that you never get in this situation of pitching anything or selling anything. Our approach at Strategy Sprints is you don't sell. You help them buy. You help them explore their situation, their truth, uncover which decisions they are really taking right now, uncover where they are in taking this decision, helping them find out what they need next to take that decision, and then having them take the decision. And then reinforcing the decision that they just took. It's also a very important step. We'll see that also. So the demo calls scheduled, let's say of those 10 discovery calls that happened, 6 become a demo call scheduled. That's quite an average number that we're seeing right now with agencies. And then demo done is 4. So again, 2 ghosted you or asked for a delay to next week or in 3 weeks later of that demo. But there's also ghosting going on. And of those 4 demos, you agreed on something, you sent them a statement of work, a proposal, and you closed 1. You got a signed deal, 1 signed deal. And let's say your ticket size is 30K. You made now 30K this week. Congrats. Okay. Now we want to move this from 1 closed to 2 closed. Let's double the amount of deals per week that you close so that we go from 30K per week to 60K per week. what do we need to get there? First thing is we need to find the bottleneck. So if you look at this, where is the bottleneck? Let's go through your numbers, right? While you listen to me, do the same thing on a piece of paper, write down your numbers, whatever the numbers are. There are no good and bad numbers. There are just numbers of this week and numbers of next week. And we want to improve the numbers of next week by at least 1%, okay? We don't compare ourselves to any competitor or industry or whatever model you have in mind. The only important thing is you compare yourself to your team last week, and you want to be 1% better than last week and 1% worse than next week, okay? Next week, we're going to be 1% better than last week. Can we commit to that? All right, then we can sprint. It's start by starting. Wherever you are, we will just start there and move 1% forward. So, of course, you will get some tools that will propel you forward with more ease and grace, because you have a sprint coach now. They will show you exactly in each part. They will give you tools from discovery call to discovery call done, how you can increase the show up rate so that you get those 5 that you lost there, and you increase the show up rate. They will show you tools from discovery call done to demo call scheduled, because from there, that's the sales script that you need to improve. From demo scheduled to demo done, this is where we have to go to work on sales technique, but also landing page, the conversions, the technical part, but also the content part, the story part, and the value part. There are 4 levels of value. We will go through them with you. It's commodity, experience, benefits, strategic value. And if we get that right, then you will convert of those 4, then a 2x, we will convert 2 into closed. So we've doubled that. And so you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4 chances here for possible bottlenecks to solve. And now how will you find your bottleneck? The first question to ask when you have mapped that. And so let's map it together. I don't know your numbers. Let's say you had this week, you had 6 discovery calls scheduled, 6 conversations with people that want to work with you. Of them, 5 happened. Of them, you offered a proposal session to somebody, or a pitch, how you call it, to, let's say, 4. And then the demo, you did 3, and you closed 1, okay? So you identify, based on your real numbers, your bottleneck, and then you ask yourself, do we have enough new opportunities per week coming in? That's the first part, right? Do we have enough new conversations? Now your sprint coach will give you the sales pipeline review, which is both a training video and a template on how you can raise the accountability in the team. Because if this happens, that we don't have enough new leads, new conversations coming in, then we have to work on the team accountability, on the culture of prospecting. Your sprint coach will give you the prospecting training video, the prospecting templates, but also the team accountability video and the team accountability templates. This is where you need a dedicated pipeline review. A pipeline review is a weekly meeting where you talk about 1 round each. These are the new opportunities that I have created this week. This is where I am in those 4 stages with them. And this is the agreed next step. I expect this probability, 20%, 80% of closing them into the next 3 weeks. And I expect this volume. It's a 30K deal. It's a 160K deal. And you make 1 round. Everybody answers this question. And by just doing this, you will install an accountability culture, and you will invite everybody in a repeatable way to become a prospector, an opportunity generator, not just a worker, a team member, but an opportunity generator. And this can be everybody, can be somebody in operations, in sales, in marketing, can be an assistant, can be everybody. So it's really important to start with team accountability. Then from there, if you want to increase the number 5, we have to work with you on identifying the sales gaps. So your team coach will have a list of 25 possible sales gaps. We will go through them and say, okay, which one is the one that didn't work here? So what's our remedy for that specific sales gap? The next question that we ask is, did they book themselves on a discovery call? So maybe they want to work with you, but they don't know how to click. And then it takes them more than 5 minutes. And then the dog comes, they don't have time and they forget. And they move on to the next thing. Because if you're in B2B, they are business. They are busy. So it's business people, business to business. So they are busy. If we make it hard for them to book a time, maybe they can't even make the practical step of doing it. So how can we make it easy for them to book? And then how many of those ask for a proposal? Oh, wow, hey, this works. Can we go deeper? Can you show me how you would solve this? So that's the proposal time. In order to get to the proposal, we have to look at your sales script. What's your current flow of the conversation? How can we improve the beginning, the middle, the end? The number of done here is the next thing that we'll look at. And here the questions are, how many did show up? Which one did ghost us? Whenever we get ghosted, we go back to the sales gaps, we go back to the sales script, we do an ABC role play, ABC, to say, okay, I want to feel, how does it feel? Let me play the client, you play the sales person, you play yourself. And then the third one is the observer. So we have now ABC, the 3 roles, salesperson, the client, and the observer. And now we experience this conversation. And the observer will tell us what they saw in terms of non-verbal communication, verbal communication, the length of the silence, who was asking more questions. Best salesperson is the person that asks more questions. So in the end of the sales call, if you would get an AI telling you who was asking more questions, and you have asked 50 questions and they have asked 5, you did a great job. So the salesperson is the person asking more questions and better questions. Okay, and just not more questions, but of course more good questions, questions that help them find their truth, their reality, find what they are actually deciding, what they need to take the next decision, and what do they need to take their own action from inaction to action. So overcome the status quo and make the change that they want to make for themselves, their team, their clients. Also really important, what are their concerns or objections, right? If they say, oh, it's too expensive, it's too early, I don't have the right team. What are their concerns? And those concerns will go back here into the script and we will incorporate them into your script, because you will have objection handling answers ready. You don't practice with the client. You practice this before with your sprint coach, with your team, in ABC roles and in the script, and you come very ready to the next call, which will then increase the conversion rate here. You see the points, the exact acupuncture points to increase the win rate here in each part. And if we do that right, then our win rate will 2x, 3x. And one more thing, a bonus thing that I have learned quite late, after 21 years in helping teams grow, both bottom line and top line, that the reasons for close lost are very important to track. So either it's a win, then you click win. But if it's a lost, and where do you click win? Either in your spreadsheet or in the CRM software. Great softwares to use are Pipedrive, HubSpot. Many agencies like also Zoho. I've never used it. But Pipedrive and HubSpot are very good. If you start with nothing, just start with a spreadsheet, get our spreadsheet temple, which is the weekly sales numbers, and just start with this spreadsheet temple that your sprint coach gives you. So either it's a win, then you mark it as a win, or it's a close lost. And if it's a close lost, then there are typical 5 to 8 reasons. Write down which of those reasons it was, and I will make an own video on how to find reasons for close lost and how to track them and how to learn from them. So for now, let's recap. How do you increase the win rate? First, you map either in our spreadsheet or a simple spreadsheet, discovery calls scheduled, discovery calls done, demo scheduled, demo done, and how many you did close. That week, you do this on a weekly level, which already will probably change your behaviors from monthly to weekly. Now that you have it on a weekly level, you go to the current bottleneck. Which one is the conversion that if we increase that conversion, then the overall output will be higher. That's the definition of a bottleneck. So it might be from scheduled to done, or from discovery call to demo, or from demo to closing. And whatever that is, you can use the accountability template that we have for you. That's the pipeline review. You can use the deal review, the 25 gaps to close in a sales, the sales script template, or the ABC role play process, which is a role play that you play so that you feel and how it is to hear that, you improve your answers to their objections. And also you get feedback from the observer who will tell you what you're doing in terms of body language, the words you use, which ones you might try next, and also about your silence and the number of your questions and the quality of your questions. And maybe they have an idea for which questions would be even better. So this is how you increase the win rate in a B2B sales situation. Hope this helps. If you have any specific questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer them in the next video. Keep rolling, everybody.
What if your business would run well even when you are on vacation? Discover how 1,600 business owners have regained their freedom using the Strategy Sprints blueprints. How they enjoy living their dream and watching their business scale. Get the exact checklists they use to go from stressed to fulfilled using the Strategy Sprints method. Order your copy of Strategy Sprints 12 Ways to Accelerate Growth for an Agile Business on Amazon today. And if you love it, leave us a review. For more information, head over to strategysprints.com.